The new iPhones are getting super expensive without so much features to offer. So let's break it down and see if it's really worth it. Coming up. Peace on you brothers and sisters, TechTube here with a new video about this year iPhones. This year's iPhone models are the priciest ever. However, they come with less benefits and more drawbacks. It seems like by every year that passes, they are getting less and less innovative. And they are even selling it for more money, which is ridiculous in many ways. Worth mentioning other companies which are killing it by selling very high-end specs for even half the price, including OnePlus, Xiaomi, and Huawei. And no wonder they are overtaking Apple's in the global market shares, and I think this will continue for the years that follows. Like how Huawei sold more handsets this year than Apple did. You can watch more of this topic from the eye above. I know you all here for one reason and one reason only. To know if these new handsets are really worth it. And to be honest, this year, Apple sucked so hard considering the level of competition. They unveiled their annual update iPhones few days ago, showing off three models that were not groundbreaking as far as developments in hardware or design. However, the iPhone X is gone entirely and replaced with the new iPhone XS, or better say XS for simplicity. This is a slightly superior version of the bezel-less smartphone Apple first released for $999 last year. And now, there is an even larger handset, the iPhone XS Max, that has an eye-popping 6.5-inch display, which is Apple's largest ever. Complicating the conversation is the third phone that was announced that day, the iPhone XR. That device comes in 6 bright colors, including a Project Red version and a Canary Yellow one. It also has all of the same internal components as its pricer variants, and a bezel-less display. But from a price standpoint, it is designed to replace last year's iPhone 8. The two big trade-offs you make are in the display quality. The XR has an LCD display instead of an OLED one, and in the camera, which is a single lens system instead of the iPhone's XS's dual lens system. That was carried over from last year's model. So, let's break it down into the 3 best features as well as drawbacks so you can decide for yourself. Let's start with what the XS does best. The most important benefit of the iPhone XS and XS Max over the cheaper XR is its display, which is arguably the most impressive smartphone screen on the market. The XS has a 5.8-inch OLED display, the same as the original iPhone X, while the XS Max has a 6.5-inch OLED display. Both devices feature a pixel density of 458 pixels per inch. This results in the brightest, sharpest, most color-accurate displays Apple has ever produced for its smartphone line. So Apple's XS and XS Max models are no-brainers when it comes to display. The second best feature, which justify buying one of Apple's top-of-the-line iPhone models, is the advancements the company achieves in mobile photography. In the case of iPhone XS and XS Max, you are getting a couple new features that really takes advantage of the interplay between Apple's software and its new Bionic chip, which helps with onboard processing for tasks that makes use of machine learning and other artificial intelligence powered software. One of those new features is Smart HDR, which will take a number of photos with varying exposure settings and other manual tweaks and stitch them together. It is worth mentioning that Android phones have been able to do this same technique for quite some time, similar to what Google does to its Pixel phones. The other is the ability to manually adjust the aperture of a photo and the depth of field after it's already been captured. This is something that was pioneered years ago by a camera maker Lytro, and it is usually achieved through the use of light field photography. The third best feature that separates the XS from XR is the IP68 rated water splash and dust resistance. It is one step up from the IP67 rating of the original iPhone X, and it means that you can accidentally submerge your XS or XS Max in up to 7 feet of water for as long as 30 minutes. That's twice the depth that the IP67 ratings allows. So if you're prone to dropping your iPhone into, say, a swimming pool or lake instead of just a toilet or bathtub, the XS is a big improvement in the not needing a replacement device department. So that sums up the best features for today, and all what we have next is the worst features. When Apple launched the iPhone X last year, it was the very first time the company decided to price its smartphone in the unprecedented $1,000 range, with the $999 base model bleeding into 4 digits after tax, or well into the 1100 to 1250 range if you decided to get one with more storage. The iPhone XS and XS Max push Apple even further into the luxury and exorbitant consumer electronics territory. Although the base model iPhone XS remains at $999 before tax, a storage upgrade from 64 gigabytes to 256 gigabytes because there is no 128 gigabytes model puts you at 1150 before tax, and the half terabyte model is a staggering $1,350. The XS Max's price is a bit more understandable, considering its larger display. It starts at $1,099 and goes all the way up to $1,449 for the half terabyte model. That's the priciest iPhone that Apple has ever made. And the fact that it costs us more than a base model MacBook Pro is bound to push the XS Max far beyond the realm of possibility for the average smartphone buyer. The second worst feature with the iPhone XS and XS Max, you're not really getting devices that are all that much better than Apple's cheaper XR variant. The XR has the same A12 Bionic processor, the same front-facing camera with Face ID and Animoji, and the same bezel-less design. The rear-facing camera doesn't have the dual lens system that the original iPhone X and the new XS and XS Max have, but it can still perform many of the same portrait mode shots and other computational photography tricks like adjustable aperture to intensify or artificial bokeh effects, thanks to camera software advancements. Even the display on the XR, which is larger than the display of XS, is being known as an industry-leading version of LCD that Apple is calling Liquid LCD, which simply means using backlighting system to fill out the bezel-less screen. So it is not very likely that most average users are going to notice a huge difference between the XR screen and the OLED display on the XS. The last worst feature, this may be the most complaint to have about the XS and XS Max, but it is 3 standard colors, gold, silver and space gray, really feel muted and uninspired compared to the XR's black, blue, coral, red, yellow and white options. Still, it is a big bummer that you cannot buy a more expensive smartphone from Apple while still enjoying the best specs and hardware its flagship's line has to offer. That said, if you are buying a $1,150 phone, you are probably going to want to cover the back of it with a case anyway. Finally, the choice is not an easy one. Both the XS and XR involve some trade-offs and compromises, and understanding which elements of Apple's brightest devices you like or dislike will help you make a more informed decision on which model is for you. So, hopefully now you can decide if it's time to jump in with the new XS or XS Max, or if it is worth going for the more colorful and cheaper XR, or leave it all together and decide to move on to other brands. That's it guys, thanks so much for watching. Now it's time to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell to be notified with recent uploads. Finally, smash the like button. That was TechTube. See you in the next video. Peace out.